Okay, guys, we're wrapping up the end of week 10. We're still in our energy unit. Okay, trying out a new thing. You'll see on Classroom where it'll say energy warm-ups and to-do list. So in the back of our science notebook, like that back inside cover, we will start doing warm-ups now that we have some consistency. This file, which I already have open, okay, you'll find like when it says this, like the date, obviously if you're an A day or B day, there'll be a question there. And usually the next slide will have the answer. And some things that we kind of talk through. Okay. For today, it was how do you think popping popcorn works? Like either you yourself have done it or been around someone or been in a movie theater or like a carnival that has popped popcorn. Okay, so you just don't say you microwave it. What exactly is happening to the best you can describing it? Okay, and then we started talking about popcorn. And you're like, why popcorn now? Well, you can make popcorn through any of the heat transfer methods like conduction, convection, and radiation. So we're going to talk through those. And they've got two pictures here that, time throughout the day shown at different times, but just for you to take a look. There are different types of popcorn. Who knew? Right? There are different species of popcorn, and you can't just go get an ear of corn in the field and expect it to work. It's certain kinds. One of the videos you watch will explain that to you. But these types here, their names, when you watch the videos later, maybe you'll understand why they call them butterfly. Okay, but look at their shapes versus this one that looks, it's a mushroom, right? So look at the shape of them. We're going to practice making some observations about popcorn, like before, like this, during the actual process, and after. But there are different kinds, and you can get these, like the blue and the red one, at our HEB. They're rearranging everything right now, but find the popcorn, the microwave popcorn, and there will be bottles of these different ones, and they taste different than each other. So it may have gone down a rabbit hole there with my own self and tasted like several of them, but it's very interesting. And some of them, if you look at the packaging, have, I'll show you in just a second, yellow corn, and some are white corn. And you can see how it pops, the distinguishing bits between the two of them. Okay. But, if you get like corn, like this kind, this is yellow corn. And so you can get white and get all these different ones, and they have different flavors. Or think about when you've had like caramel corn or cheese corn, how it gets everywhere. That's usually with this one, this mushroom shape, right? So there's some thought process there. Does it have to do with surface area? Does it have to do with how the topping sticks to it? Okay. So this is one of the things we looked at. And we also looked at the inside of a microwave popcorn bag. So just, whatever brand, got the double butter just for full effect. But this is what it looks like on the inside, which is not so appetizing. Okay, all that goo there is the butter, but it's not actually butter, right? And it's got the salt and the preservatives and the different stuff. That's like palm oil, salt, natural flavors. Who knows what that means to them? Annatto and paprika. I hadn't noticed paprika before. So that's all in a thing of microwave, right? So if we're using microwaves, that's radiation, right? So if you have microwave popcorn available to you, pop some, but don't just like put it in the microwave and walk away. One, you don't want it to burn. Two, pay attention, right? How long does it take? There's a little like 100-calorie packs now. Definitely don't push the microwave setting on the microwave, right? But at the beginning, it's like nothing's happening, and pop, pop, and then okay, so the microwaves produced by the machine, the microwave, are what make this happen. And like we talked about before, the microwaves make the stuff inside that's either water, sugar, fat get excited. And in the video, it says how is popcorn pop, that'll explain that to you. Okay, but this is here in my energy warm-ups file. Okay, in your science notebook, just to get it ready. Okay, make a page that looks like this, and obviously you can push pause. Take a second, write this down. And those are the three methods of heat transfer: conduction, convection, and radiation. Okay, and we can make popcorn all three ways. The radiation, obviously with microwave popcorn, but I want you to make observations. Talk about the bag. Talk about how long it takes to do. Does it pop every single kernel? You can describe that. If you your parents don't mind you opening one up so you can see it for yourself. Open up a bag of popcorn, describe what you see there. How does it smell? What's the texture? Okay. So get this page ready, and while you're watching the videos and or doing it yourself, if you have these things available to you, you can add to your observations here. Okay, so you've got this ready to rock. And then on Classroom, it's being slow, sorry. The popcorn videos, when mine decides that it wants to be nice, and let me click on it, because it knows I'm doing a video, obviously. Okay, I'm going to push pause. Take 2. It's playing nice now. Okay, the popcorn videos are here. Watch this one first. Why does popcorn pop? Especially if you've never thought about it. But it's going to explain the process to you. Okay, and feel free to jot down any notes about it. But then we're going to look at some of this popcorn popping in extreme slow motion. Okay, so this one, this is popping popcorn. Watch that 1 second. This is made by the slow-mo guys. Like, they have a YouTube channel. Anything in slow motion is much more fascinating. But pay attention here, like jot notes in your science notebook about what's the setup. Like, the radiation was in the microwave. Okay, what's their setup here? What are they using to make the popcorn pop? Also pay attention to their lab safety or lack of it, and maybe what wasn't the smartest choices they made. Okay, but they'll show you some of it in slow motion. If you see FPS, that's frames per second, okay, because they're showing you how many pictures they're taking in 1 second, like how slow the slow-mo is. Okay, but this one here, they'll be cooking it in a pan. That's going to be your conduction. All right, and they're going to talk about the oil too. But then you can go over to the popping popcorn at 30,000 frames per second, which is even slower. This one is through convection. Okay, so it's going to look like it's on the top of a pole or a rod, or even one of those like candle lighters with the long stems, but it's hot air coming up out of it. It's very graceful, right? So pay attention to the texture of the popcorn as well. Okay, some people had some interesting putting two together, like the stuff that gets stuck in your teeth when you eat popcorn is the hole, the outside part that's getting burst open. I also included, it's not a very exciting one, so sorry, popping popcorn in microwave, just in case you don't have it or can't get to it, but that's there too, but it's the least exciting of videos. If you at home have an air popper or microwave popcorn, for the sake of science, feel free, pop that popcorn, get the full sensory experience, and jot down your observations about it. Okay, so between the microwave popcorn with radiation, the conduction with the pan and the oil, and then with convection with the air popper or the slow-mo one here with the hot air stream coming up, that's 3 different ways to pop popcorn. Okay, so do that. And then we're going to start. We are not going to finish. We will continue this next week. You see 2 things here. You see the answer sheet for types of energy breakout. If you have access to a working printer, feel free to print it. This one is much easier than the last breakout we attempted. Okay, but there are 5 breakout rooms. This page, we see how that's handwritten there. We're trying to show you how many letters are in the code so that you can write them down, because remember, Google Forms don't save your progress. So if you don't finish it one sitting, which I don't expect you to, jot them down there. If you do not have access to a working printer, just make a escape room page, the energy, like put the title, types of energy, escape room, page in your science notebook, and put the codes there, right? So that when we come back to it, the next time I see you, you still have your answers from before. But as for the escape room itself, okay, you'll open up, see, nobody finished today, and that's okay because we were busy eating popcorn. Here with the escape rooms, enter yourself. When it says email address, it's your school email address. Enter your name, and they'll take you to the first breakout room, and it'll have a link for you. It'll ask you to make a copy. You do that. It'll go into your Google Drive, and just follow the follow the instructions just like it says. Use your notes, use your brain, and work your way through it. Okay, and like I said, we will pick this up next week. So at least get going with it to kind of see how it works. Okay, but we will complete this types of energy escape room. At the end of next week, we will have our energy test. So over temperature and thermal energy and conduction, convection, and radiation, and then our energy transformations. Okay, Okay, so even like we talked about our air popper in class, it has to be plugged in, so it's electrical, and then it makes the motor go, which is mechanical, which makes it produce thermal energy to heat up the air, right? So thermal energy, and that makes popcorn move around again. So that produces mechanical, and it makes the inside chemically change the popcorn, right? So all of that happens. We just need to look a little closer. Okay. So happy popcorning to you. See y'all next week.